Hey everyone, welcome. Great to see so many of you here. Thank you for joining us today. This is going to be such an inspiring session, especially for those who run webinars or plan to running them. And before we dive in, I want to start with a quick question for everyone. When you think about hosting a webinar, what's the first emotion that hits you? I'm going to actually start a poll for this one. Let's see what are your answers. Is it excitement, dread, joy, or maybe you have some fear? For me, I would say, like, as a host, it's usually excitement because I can't wait to share my ideas with you, bring on new speakers, and learn together with you. And I see a lot of you are excited too. Nice. I love the results. And that's why I'm so excited about today because our guest, Levent, has been through all of those emotions and he has lived the dread, fear, and still managed to turn webinars into UserGuiding's #1 lead generation channel. Let me bring the poll out. Levent, thanks for joining me today.
Hello, hello. Yep, I'm a bit excited as well.
Yeah.
I'm on the different side of the table, but still I'm excited.
Yeah, before we get into your story, what was your emotional state back in those early webinar days? Like, were you hopeful, frustrated, or maybe excited? What was your
Yep.
emotions?
So on our side, actually, we started to fully focus on webinars starting from September last year, since September 2024. Me and Jude, yeah, we were the guys who spent most of our times for webinars. Actually, Jude was moderating most of our webinars. I was the guy sitting on the chat part. But when we were, thinking about our webinars, we were exciting and also a bit fearful because it was our first attempts. Once we do not count, once we maybe had 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but excitement, fear, and also at the end, joyful, smiling faces. But before the webinar, it was all like excitement and fear.
Love that. Okay, we'll dig into the details of that
Yeah,
comeback story in a second. But first, for anyone who doesn't know you yet, want to give a quick intro?
yeah, for sure. So I'm a marketing guy. I have been working for software companies or e-commerce companies for almost 15 years as a marketing people, and currently working for UserGuiding more than 1 year. It's my second time in UserGuiding. Before that, I was responsible for sales and support success, but right now I wear some marketing shoes, and we have some many ideas that we would like to deliver for this beautiful team. And so marketing guide, GTM strategies, thinking about new ways to grow the company and things like that. So those are my keywords.
Awesome. And I know your
Yep.
story is going to resonate with a lot of people here who has had their
Yep.
own why are we even doing webinars moments.
Yep.
And yeah, Levent, walk us through it. How did you take something that was barely getting 10 registrations and turn it into
Mm.
top performing growth
Yep.
channel? I'll let you share your slides and then yeah, I'll interrupt you if I have any questions,
Yep.
if it's okay for you. The stage is yours.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. So feel free to interrupt me anytime you want. So it's going to be more interactive one. So I like interactive sessions. Okay, guys. So I can start. Yep. As Lucine mentioned, we will be talking about how our company UserGuiding turned webinars into our first lead generation channel today. And so before starting, I just want to understand if you guys have any idea about UserGuiding. Is this your first time, or have you ever heard UserGuiding before? Maybe you might share it on the chat. If you write 1, it means that you are familiar with UserGuiding. 2 might be not familiar, so I can try to understand. So team says 1. Anyone says 1 or 2? Let's see. Yeah, 1 is familiar, 2 is not familiar. Oh, Joubert, Irina, 2. Yep, we have some tools here. Good. So, and then I can give some information about UserGuiding as well. So UserGuiding is a user onboarding company. and also product adoption company. With UserGuiding, you can easily create guides, product tours, checklists, any onboarded materials without needing a developer with a no-code tool. And once you create those kind of materials, it helps you to increase your product adoption, reduce your churn, and also increase your product-related metrics. Apart from that, apart from onboarding materials, we have also materials like knowledge base, resource center, AI assistant, and those help you to reduce your support costs as well. Good for support teams mainly, and they can easily handle their support tickets without needing many people. They can easily proceed with our solution and increase their support resolutions. So user guiding is like that in 2 or 3 sentences. If I want to give more details, yeah, you can feel free to ping me after the webinar. But yes, so the next slide is all about our customers and other stuff. So we have customers from all around the world and more than 1K subscribers. It's going well, and you can see some of our biggest subscribers under the logos. We have been working with enterprise companies, middle-sized companies, and some small-sized companies. They have different type of use cases, and we try to handle their use cases regardless of the company size. So today, as you know, our topic is all going to be about how we turned webinars into our first lead generation channel. And I'm going to share our early webinar days and some turning points and all of our distribution strategy, including our tips and tricks and some test ideas we had, which one worked, which one didn't. And at the end, I have some gifts for you, especially for the ones that attempt today. So actually, as I said, we started to focus on webinars last year on September, but before that, we had some webinars actually. And at those times, it didn't perform well. The reason is because it was like a content campaign. It's not like a marketing campaign. We didn't think webinars is an holistic approach. We thought it was like, have the webinar, promote it through email or other stuff, and then let's see how many registrants we will have and do the webinar for them. So it was just like a campaign idea. And because of that, we didn't have many registrations. Our registrations number were lower than 15, 10. For some cases, we had some webinars, we had only 5 viewers. And the reason is because we didn't have any strategy behind that. I mean, we were thinking that once we push it out, people will come. But it didn't work like that. And also, we didn't focus on promotion part at that time. We were thinking that, as I mentioned, it can go with the flow, but it didn't happen. So last year, we changed something. First of all, we changed our mindset. We started to think that webinars shouldn't be like a content event, it should be like a marketing campaign. And once we changed the mindset, we started to think how we can deliver it. And we were, thinking about our team, and then we said, let's have one person dedicated to webinars. And her name is Jude. Her responsibility was handling all of the webinars tasks, like a 360 part, from promotion, from the content part, from distribution, from clips, from everything you can imagine. So starting from September 2024, we had one person only dedicated to webinars, and her aim was to increase our registrants, engagement, maybe leads at the end of the day. But first of all, after we changed the mindset, we had someone dedicated to webinars. And then we started to do promotion in a systematic way. Not like, just send an email and let's see how it performs. We changed our mindset. We had a one dedicated person, and we also had some promotion strategy where we can focus for each webinar to increase our registrants. So in that case, once we change our mindset, we also started to look for platforms we could use, because we were using Zoom before, but Zoom is not really dedicated to live events. I mean, you can also have Zoom meetings, you can also have Zoom demo calls, things like that. And then we thought that Zoom shouldn't be our platform. Let's check. So after our dedicated research, we found Get Contrast. Yeah, we are lovely to find Get Contrast, by the way. And right now we are still using Get Contrast to reduce the manual processes. First of all, I mean, Get Contrast helps us to send dedicated emails and other stuff. And for the clips part, transcripts part, it also helps us to reduce that manual burden on our side after the webinar. So again, thanks for those guys. It's really useful for our team.
Thanks
Yep.
for the lovely event. Sorry for
Yep.
jumping in. I love what you said about treating webinars like marketing campaigns, not
Uh-huh.
just content events. That's such a mindset shift. And honestly, this is probably where a lot of us go wrong. And
Yep.
before we dive deeper, I'd love to run a quick poll because I'm guessing everyone here is at a different stage in their webinar journey. So let's see what's their biggest challenge is right now. Let me just start this poll. Let's see. What's your biggest webinar struggle right now? Is it getting people to register, getting people to show up, like the
Nice.
attendance rates, low engagement during your live sessions, or proving webinar ROI to stakeholders, or you don't know what to do after the webinar, you don't know how to follow up? Let's see, getting people to register and proving webinar ROI. These are the top two. But okay, while
Yeah.
people are voting, Levent, does that line up with what you used to see at UserGuiding before you rebuilt everything? Which one of those
Yeah.
hurt the most for you?
I mean, the first one, as most of the people shared here, getting people to register might be challenging. But I just wanted to understand if they see the webinar as a marketing campaign or just, build it and throw it and let it happen. So that might be the critical thing here. I just wanted to understand how do those guys spend some time on their live events. So I think this is critical. You should be thinking that is like an ABM campaign, like a marketing campaign, like a Black Friday campaign. It shouldn't be a campaign like, like a blog post. I mean, the content, as you are also working as a blog person, you should have a mindset for every marketing material you have been working on. So it can be a blog post, it can be a webinar. All of them are content, right? But after the content, you need to think about how to promote it, how to distribute it as well. So I think that part starts at that time. So if you have a content and let's see how it goes, most of the time it's not working nowadays. So we need to do something in a different way to get the engagement.
Yeah,
So
I completely agree with you.
and since last year September, so we had 20 live events until today. And for those events, we had more than 2K people registered. So there might be some new ones, there might be some returning ones, but at the end, more than 2K people. And we have 20 customers from our webinars. And there are some data that we are not tracking, such as product usages. So just wanted to share something here. Webinars, people are thinking webinars as bringing new customers. So this is most of the people's idea when they see webinars. But there is one more thing that webinars help your team, and it helps you to increase your product usages. For instance, the webinar can be related to your, let's say here, can be related to your feature usage, can be related to your one of your new feature, can be related to your, again, features, materials, their activation, let's say. So when you have a workshop like that, let's say that workshop, their registrants will be mainly your existing trials or your subscribers. And they might join that workshop to understand how to use that feature. So think that they are paying you $3.99, $5.99, and then this might help you to upgrade their plan because you might share how to use a new feature and they might not aware of that feature. So those kind of workshops are really crucial for subscribers and existing trials. Because of existing trials, it's crucial because it helps trials to be your subscribers. And for subscribers, it's crucial to increase their product usage. And we started to see that once we increase our workshops, our subscribers are more loyal to us. They just want to join other workshops. They are all curious about what are the upcoming ones. They started to share their suggestions, recommendation with us, especially for the future wise. So this is so critical when you think about live event strategy, let's say. So workshop is good. And also this can be good for new users. I mean, for new users, you can have different kind of live events. So that live event can be related to a partnership that you can handle. For instance, we had a partnership with one of the well-known people on our area, on our industry, and we created a report with her, Kate Suyuma. And the report was all about AI onboarding. And then we invited her to our webinar to go over that report as well. So this was all about for new users. As again, our subscribers, our trials might join, but the aim of that live event was new users. So the one on the middle, for instance, you can also invite some of your guests. Guests are so critical because people are sometimes looking for, audiences that are related to their use cases. Once you share something from your side, it might seem not natural for some people. But when you invite someone and try to have their story, this might be more natural for audiences, for registrants, because they think that, oh, those guys also wore the same shoes with me. And right now I can think about what to do with that solution. So this might also has a positive impact for registrants to convince them for their upgrades or subscription decision, let's say. So those are some of the ideas we tested. I'm going to give more details, but the aim of those workshops, webinars, live events, whatever you call it, is to, as I mentioned, existing subscribers to increase their product usage and to show how to use product in a better way. Trials, think that some trials, they might think one-on-one demo calls are not for them. They might be hesitating. They might be saying that I got anxious. It's better for them to, join group product demo calls and be silent, but see what's going on, have some things on the chat. So there are that kind of people as well. So those are trials for us. That can be existing, previous, potential, and new accounts. New accounts are like, has no idea about our solution, but once they see the event, they jump in and then maybe they can start a trial. So for the distribution, I'm going to share some tips and tricks starting from this slide. So first of all, it should be personalized. So think that this one we sent for knowledge base users. So we had a knowledge base workshop and we didn't send that workshop to all of our newsletter emails, healthy emails. We just filtered them and we made a list of our trials, our subscribers that activated our feature, but not using it very well. And then we sent that kind of message to them. So you need to make a list of accounts. You need to make a list of subscribers or emails that you think they might be interested in your webinar, not like whole solution. You can think that this webinar's audience is this audience. For instance, the one that I shared here, its audience is to one that are related to knowledge base. we would like to increase the usage of knowledge base at that time. We wanted to increase the usage of knowledge base. And we were checking for accounts that activated knowledge base but didn't had any posts on it, didn't had any articles on it. And that's why we sent them a dedicated email mentioning this knowledge base part. This subject line is also related to something related to knowledge base activation at that time. So this is one thing. Yep. Any questions here, by the way? I couldn't see the chat, but if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to
I do have
share
a
it.
few for the distribution strategy. if
Yep.
yeah, if you want, I can ask them now.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that you tested like everything from LinkedIn ads to communities to newsletters that you mentioned. Which one would you say gave the best quality leads? Not just
Yep.
quantity. I'm not saying they brought like the most registrations, but the
I
quality.
see.
Mhm.
So I think I can share this maybe 3-4 slides later on because I don't have the exact answer for this. So it's hard for me to say the one that works for us also is going to work for you. This is, I think, wrong mindset from my point of view because it might change from product to product.
Yeah, of course. For
But
you.
I'm going to share the ones that best works for us.
Perfect.
Nice. So, for instance, one thing related to distribution is also you need to promote it to your panel. So most of the software companies, SaaS companies, once they have a webinar, they don't promote it on their panel. I think that's the key. So you should have some guides, you should have some banners, you should have something related to your webinar on your panel as well. So this is crucial. And for instance, with the help of UserGuiding, we can also segment our users and we can show the right banner to the right audience. This is also critical. So not every subscriber on our panel can see this banner. We can say that again, we can do some segmentation, we can do some filters, and then we display this banner to the right audience. This is also critical. If they use our feature and maybe they might miss it, they don't want to see it. But for those that are really excited about, we need to find that kind of audiences under our subscribers. So apart from that, social media is key, but you don't need to only post it on your LinkedIn profile or company page. This is not working. You are not going to get many registrants after you have a one post. This is 100% correct. I mean, what you can do, you can start promoting that post to the related audiences you created on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can have different type of audiences, such as website visitors, such as company page visitors, such as those kind of remarketing visitors you can imagine. So once you have a webinar, once you have a live event, once you have a workshop, you need to target it to the right audience on LinkedIn. I mean, you can use LinkedIn ads for that. And believe me, for some regions, it's really working well. For instance, we also have some webinars in Portuguese. We have a team in Brazil, and actually live events, webinars work really well in that region. Maybe it's not so, they are not so get used to it. It's not like US, you know, in US, you might see webinars maybe every week, but maybe in Brazil, it's not like crowded as you can imagine. So in Brazil, once we have an event, anytime we promote it through our LinkedIn ads. And as you see here, some of the posts has higher than 200 engagements, 100 engagements. So those are only engagements. Think that they also click you, they also register you. So our, I think, biggest lead generation source for webinars is coming from LinkedIn and the ones coming from Brazil, Portuguese. So once you have a dedicated team who speaks their language, you can create different type of ads and you can run them for remarketing purposes plus for new user purposes. And it's also a good way to capture leads because you are not selling something directly. We are saying that you can join our webinar. At the end, you can get more details about our solution and get more details about the product field. And if it fits you, you can start a trial or other stuff. So this is really working for some regions. And for us, it's working really well in Brazil. Once we have a webinar in English, it might be challenging for us to understand where to target in terms of region. But once we have the webinar in Portuguese, it's so easy for us because we will be targeting Brazil. But the English part, it's sometimes challenging because, you can hard to choose sometimes some countries or other stuff apart from remarketing audiences. Yes. Question. It's LinkedIn ads, right? Yes. LinkedIn ads.
Cool. One question, Levent. Do you have a set budget for LinkedIn ads for only promoting the webinars?
No, I mean, our budget changes from webinar, to be honest. If it's in Brazil, the budget might be higher because we try to adjust the budget once we see some signals. If the signals are going well in terms of registrants, we increase the budget for that.
Okay, thanks.
So we gotta continue for the distribution part. So banners, top banners. So this sometimes works, sometimes not, to be honest. But it's good for your visitors to see what's going on your side related to live events. So we have some registrants from that, but I can say that this is not the highest one in terms of registrants. And also, so we had some webinars with some again, software companies, similar ICPs, but not directly our competitors. For instance, our solution is user onboarding solution. There are some solutions focusing on interactive tools, interactive onboarding sessions, for instance. So our ICPs are similar, but they are not our real direct competitors. We also had a webinar with them. And in order to promote those webinars at that time, we were searching for some newsletters that might be our targeted newsletter, and ICPs are spending time on it. And we also run some ads on those newsletters. This was the one that we worked with Productive PMM. And actually, those ones are working well if you find the targeted newsletter. Their sponsorship prices are starting from 1K on our site. And once you do the math, for some of them, we had 50 registrants, 60 registrants. It was okay for us at that time. So you can also check your area and try to find some newsletters really focusing on your ICP and talk to them to promote your live event. Yep.
We have a question regarding the promotion. Marie is asking, in terms of organic promotion on socials, what worked the best in your experience?
So organic promotion on socials, regarding the social, our main social channels is LinkedIn. And apart from that, we also promoting our webinars in different channels like Twitter, Instagram, maybe TikTok, but I can say that they are not bringing too much registrants. And for the organic promotion, LinkedIn, some videos can work. Once you invite other people through a video, it might work. But as I said, it shouldn't be a post that you are not going to promote. You should promote anything you are planning to do. If you do not promote it, I can say that you are planning to, you might get some registrants, but their number won't be high. You should spend some ads on it. As I mentioned in the first slides, you should think that this should be a marketing campaign, not like sending a post and let's see how it performs. Not like that. If you think like that, it's not the right strategy. Yeah. For every post you are planning to send, you need to promote it in LinkedIn, if it is LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, and then to the right targeted people. That's the key if you would like to increase the registrants.
Yeah, I can also talk about my experience here.
Uh-huh.
Posting from the company pages, you know, like LinkedIn and the algorithm, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
gets only 1% of organic reach from the company page. So if you want to promote just do organic promotion, then I would suggest to use your personal account for that.
Uh,
And it's not gonna work, of course, the way that works the ads, the LinkedIn ads and thought leader ads. But if you are only using organic channels, like you don't want to use any paid channels, then for socials, I would recommend to use your personal account, not the company one.
yes, I think we
We do
have
have
other
a few,
questions.
yeah, we do have a few questions. Do you want me to bring them out, and or you want to wait until the end and answer them?
Uh, I mean, I've seen some Irina question. Yeah, external newsletter. Yes, that's the right. How many weeks, days? Yeah, you can bring them up. We can
Okay.
check it out.
About the LinkedIn ads that I was asking, team is asking about the cost per lead or cost per registration. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
have you calculated that, and what was the
Yeah,
results?
it changes from country to country, campaign to campaign. It might be $10, it might be $40, $50. It varies.
What was the
But
cheapest and what was the highest that you have seen?
cheapest is, I mean, like as I said, maybe $10. And it was for Brazil ads, especially for Brazil, and also I can say that the combo ads for MENA region. We had a specific dedicated webinar for MENA people, and actually last year, I guess, or this year maybe. I Time goes fast, so and at that time we had that live event with one of the communities in Egypt. The name of the community is Product Plus, and we also promoted our webinar through combo ads. And yeah, at that time the cost per registrant was, I guess, $10, $5, $15, that kind of things, because there was no competition in terms of LinkedIn ads. But
Hmm.
once you try to do that in the USA, numbers might change. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I see $5, $10, $15, so
Hmm.
as the cheapest.
Irina is also asking how many days or weeks in advance do you start promoting
Nice.
your webinars?
So, the ideal might be 4 weeks, but on our site, I think it's like 2 weeks.
Okay. Is it because you are doing a lot of webinars and the
Yes.
channels
Mm-hmm.
are, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Another question from Jubert. What is the most attendees you had on a webinar using the contrast platform?
It's almost, I guess, 300. Yep, I can share it later on.
Cool.
288, I guess.
Nice.
Yep.
Anything else? Yeah, you can continue. I'll.
Okay, I can continue. Yep. So,
Yeah.
for tips and tricks, so regarding the email promotion, I already mentioned, feel free to make it more personalized, dedicated, no bulk emails. For ads promotion, remarketing works. Also, thought leadership ads also works for new users. They just want to see a person's face, not company profile. The person's face is much more familiar for them. The one that I shared for Gabriel, for instance, as an example, those ones performed well. Panel promotion, dedicated banners, segmentation, right people. This is key. Website promotion, we already talk about. Targeted newsletters, talk about. Social media promotion. If you have a guest, feel free to have an image for that guest, and then he or she can promote it on his or her LinkedIn channel. Once he or she send that post, you can also promote his or her post and like thought leadership apps ads. Uh, LinkedIn also enables you to promote other people's posts. You can send a request. Once that person accepts, you can also promote that person's post. And community promotion, if you have a Slack or WhatsApp community for your users, trials, feel free to push the webinars on those channels as well. So for the sales handoff, this might be critical for revenue teams. Most of the people just share the registrants and let's see how it goes, but it's not the right form, especially because there might be some accounts that are really interested in to use your solution after the webinar. So how you can understand them, you can check the watch ratio, for instance, with the help of contrast here. You can see watch time, viewers, and once you click on that, contrast enables you to share the percentage of the viewers, and like 75, 80, 90. And also, if you have any polls, you can share the polls answers with sales team. And apart from that, if you have any messages on chat, you can also share with sales team. Those are all signals of the attendees are active. So if it's a registrant but not attended the event, not watched it replay, so sales might skip it. You don't need to share it with sales. You need to share the ones that are so active with sales team, and then they can handle the process. I think this is critical. Most of the teams just share the registrants list and not share any details, and most of the time it's not working. So what we tested, we organized a similar solution as I mentioned. At that part, expectations should be well structured for both parties in the beginning. You need to be handshake for promotion side and also email distribution part for the registrations. For instance, after the webinar, are you going to share the registration list or not? You should be talking all of those topics. If you're not, there might be some questions at the end of the partnership. So this is critical. For LinkedIn ads, I already shared Convo ads, conversation ads performed well in Egypt, but not in US, for instance. Also, Brazil is working well for our case. We had a webinar with community. Community webinars is good because they can share the webinar through their community. If their community is active, it brings many registrants. So you can try to find communities that are active if you would like to organize a webinar for their audience. Subscribers, user guiding champions, this is critical. As I mentioned, this brings more credibility as trust. And also attendees see that this is like a reference point. And group product demo, as I mentioned, some people are hesitant to have one-on-one calls. Group product demos are really fit for them. So this is one of the webinars we had with Product Plus. It was in May, not last year, so good to see that. And on the left, you can see the combo ads we have for those. And we sent this message to all of the product people in Egypt. And once they click on count me in, the lead generation form open on LinkedIn. And once they share their email, we count them as a webinar registrants. So you can use that kind of things for testing, for instance. And this webinar had almost 300 registrants. So as I mentioned, we had webinars in Portuguese as well. Those are the ones that we had the English versions first. If they perform well, we had the PTVR versions as well. So on our side, Brazil is our really strongest market. So we need to organize many things for Brazil. So that's why we are into it. Those are one of the group product demo calls. As I mentioned, their registrations, English one, 200, Portuguese one, 230 almost. So group product demo is critical to show your product like a 101. You don't need to show it like all of the details, but if they are curious about how it performs, this one is a good idea. So learnings, quality is important than quantity at the end of the day, because okay, our registrations is for some workshops, live events, it's high, but there are some that's 60, 70. We have that kind of registrations as well, but you need to check the quality. I mean, at the end of the webinar, if they are going to start using your solution or if they increase their product users, this is more crucial. And engagement is crucial. another thing. Polls, chats. Do see and share the polls here, chats. You have some chats written here, so this is crucial for us. If we have a really rich chat, for instance, we can share all of the things written there with product team, with the related teams, and this can also help us to bring them as a trial later on. Reminders are critical. Pre-event emails and calendar reminders. You should be spending time on those. Pre-event email, yep, contrast help us to do that. Guest invitation, we already talked about. Webinar solution, yep. We were previously using Zoom. Contrast changed the way we work here. So,
I have
uh,
a quick question here, Levent.
yep.
You mentioned like quality over quantity, and there was like lots of practical takeaways there. But for the quality part, can you unpack like that a bit? How did you measure quality in this context? Is it like engagement rate, leads, conversions?
Yep. So we have 3 different kind of things that we engage here. Sorry, track that. One of them is if they are our subscriber, for instance, subscriber, we can see that it's quality. I mean, or trials, we can say that it's not a trash because subscribers might join our events to understand how to use the product in a better way. So this is key. And for the new ones, actually we try to enrich the account, and if it's like product people related to our ICP, we see that they are qualified. Actually, we try to have that kind of audience while we are running ads to them on LinkedIn, but there might be some cases we are misleading. So quality is that part. And yeah, as I mentioned, we had some events, their registration number is less than 100, but we converted 2 or 3 demos or trials from those live events. So uh, we don't want to have an event like maybe 1K registrants on our site. Our event might be really dedicated to some specific niche, but our aim should be did we cover that niche while we did the promotion?
Mm-hmm.
So we were thinking like that. Our mindset is like that.
Perfect. There is a question from Josie. How many pre-event reminders do you send?
We sent 3 reminders. I guess one is like 7 days before. One is 1 day before. The other one is maybe 15 minutes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
We can continue the slides.
So yes, on our case, me and Jude, we were talking about how to find a guest for our, for instance, webinars for a long time. And once we have the 6th or 7th, we were thinking that let's check our audience size on Get Contrast. And then we noticed that there are some emails that joined our webinar at least 6 times, 7 times. So they are really keen to our webinars. And then we talk to each other and let's reach out to them because they are joining our webinars and they also, you know, watch most of the parts and they were our subscriber. And then let's get in touch with those. And then once we send them a message, we had a list of 10, I guess, in terms of emails we need to invite for the upcoming webinar. And then 5 or 6 of them accepted our request for the upcoming ones. So in order to, guest live events are also key because some people want to see some familiar faces. And in order to make it, you can check your audiences on your Get Contrast and you can see the touch points there. This is a really good learning for us. For the post-webinar forms, this is good to get their suggestions, recommendations after the webinar. After the webinar, you can send them a form immediately. Our post-webinar email, I think we automatically send it after 5 minutes. And in that email, we have the post webinar form to get their feedback, ideas about upcoming funds. So we have that email. We also sent this on our chat. We also sent this as a CTA. So This is critical. And for the registration forms, we started to collect mobile phone numbers as it's not required, but I think starting from this year, June, and especially the ones in Brazil, it's really working well. I think almost 50-60% of them sharing their mobile phones. This is key for sales team most of the time. And in order to understand which campaign perform well, you can also create some UTMs on contrast and then use that link while you are having the campaign. So some sequences, yeah, most of the people says that, okay, webinar is for leads, demo calls. On our side, it's not the main thing in the first 2 emails, actually. We have branches for our post-webinar emails. There might be some subscribers, there might be not subscribers. So for subscribers, the email we send is different. Not subscribers different, but in the first email, we always try to share the summary and also recording. And the second email, it's all about how they can get some related articles on UserGuiding related to this live event. And in the third one, if they are not subscriber, we invite them to have a call. So here's the current situation. We have at least 150 registrations for average, let's say, for our live events. We try to organize 3 live events monthly, and we organize those events in 2 different languages. And those are some numbers this year, like group product demos, some product communication framework. And so I already shared with you guys what you can do with UserGuiding. UserGuiding, in that case, helps us in, apart from our solution. If we have a different solution, I think we need that kind of solution. So UserGuiding helps us to create segments on our panel. And once we have that segments, we can have a dedicated message for each panel users. As I shared on one of our first slides, if it is related to knowledge base, for instance, we try to understand which users activated the knowledge base and have a panel, have a guide here, banner here. Again, something like this, UserGuiding helps us to build some banners. And segmentation, this one is also related to segmentation, promoting through banner. Yes. Yep. It's all on my side. We can take the questions, and then I'm going to share something special for you.
Yeah, the gift.
Or I think I can share it, by the way, right now. So I can share it. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, some of you might be familiar with our solution. Some of you might, as I check it from the comments on the beginning of this conversation. So I shared some details about UserGuiding, but if you would like to get more, you can ping me anytime on LinkedIn. So we have a specific discount for you, which will be valid for the last day of this month, 31st of October. And you can get some discount, like 30% off in monthly plans for 6 months. And once you have this code written here, and if you would like to purchase our solution, you can have this code, our discount code part, and you can also talk to our support team. So this is special for you. If you would like to have some webinars, increase your registrations, you can use our solution as well, apart from ads, but it's going to give you a holistic approach, not like a let's see how it happens mindset.
Thank you so much for walking us through all of that, Levent, and thanks for the gift for our audience. I love how
Let's see.
transparent you were during the slides, like about what didn't work as much as what did. Now let's see if there are any questions that we haven't covered. Okay, let me see. Okay, we do have a few questions. I think this one we didn't cover from Irina. Can you also give some estimations in terms of budget for one webinar? Let's say you'd like to have 100 people present at the webinar.
As I said, I mean, this varies from region to region, event to event, and also your specific audience size. It's hard for me to say something like this, especially right now. I need to understand which region you would like to focus on, but our mindset is working like that. I mean, we just have a small size of budget for each webinar, let's say $500, and we try to spend it in the first 3-4 days. If it performs well in terms of registrations, we can easily change the budget, adjust the budget, increase the budget to increase the registration. So what I can suggest for you to, maybe you might have a budget to test, especially for your ICP. You need to first define your ICP for the webinar. It's like, again, marketing campaign. You need to define who you are targeting for that webinar. If you are targeting product people in a specific region, and then you can say that I have a budget like 500, I'm going to use it for LinkedIn ads. Let's see how it performs. And if you started to have that campaign 14 days before, and 5 days, if you test it, if you get the registers like $10, $15, if it is okay for your budget, then you might increase it. So it's hard to answer this question because it changes from region to region, country to country, but I can share it as a mindset.
Thanks, Levent. Next question is from Adrian. If you don't have a budget for paid promotion, what strategies would you suggest to increase the number of registrants?
Communities. I mean, I can suggest you can work with communities. If you have a community, not maybe like a good relationship with some of the communities, you can try to organize an event with that community and they can promote it to their audience. That might be one of the things. Or doing a live event with an influencer, micro influencer, or another solution in your industry, but not the direct competitor. I can suggest those.
Next, a question from Mohammed. Does creating LinkedIn events
For
I
registrations
think
helps.
helps, yeah,
So
for the registrations?
yeah, we tested LinkedIn events actually. I mean, people automatically accept that notification when you send someone has joined my event. But the thing is, if we have that event live on LinkedIn, it might work. But we had that kind of events, the LinkedIn event registration almost 300, 400, but we didn't get any registrations from the attendees. What it might be useful, maybe if we reach out to them one by one and say that I've seen that you click attend for our event, but I didn't see your email on our registrations list. Are you planning to join or not? That might work. But it's a really manual thing. So I think it might work, it might not. We are in the middle. Actually, we stopped creating LinkedIn events nowadays. Before that, we were doing it, but right now it's also manual job.
Next question from Irina. And what are your main channels for driving registrations from the list you showed? What works the best?
What are your main channels for driving from the list I showed? I mean, on our side, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is working well.
Is it LinkedIn ads or like LinkedIn DMs? Which one?
No, LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn ads.
Have you also tried like thought leader ads?
Yep. So the ones that I showed here, let me check. This one. For instance, this one, we ran thought leadership ads for those two posts. That's why we had that kind of engagement.
I see. And do you think like the regular display ads work better or the thought leader ads?
No. Thought leader ads. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Bartek was asking about sales handoff, but I think I shared my webinar guide. I think he didn't drop any other questions here, so we're good there. Irina also agrees that thought leadership ads work great for them too.
Yeah.
Oh, Sahin is asking, what do you think about Instagram ads for lead generation to a webinar? Have you ever tried?
We didn't test it. Yeah, we haven't tested yet. And I think it can change from company to company. On our site, in Instagram ads, it might be useful for remarketing maybe, but I have no idea about new
I think this
accounts,
is
to be honest.
yeah, this is more for like B2C companies.
Might be, yeah.
Mario is asking, do you use social post on LinkedIn? And if yes, does the quality of registrants good for you? I think you covered already this question that it's the best
Yeah.
channel for
Mm-hmm,
bringing the
mm-hmm.
registrations. So yes,
Yeah.
Mario, Levent just talked about that the LinkedIn is their best promotional channels, and they're getting the most of registrations there, especially from LinkedIn thought leader ads.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this. I think we covered all the questions. I do have
Good.
one last
Good.
question um, before we wrap up. So, one question is that how do you convince leadership that webinars are worth um investing in again after a few bad runs? Because you actually had to do this at user guiding, right? You had to
Yeah.
sell the idea internally again after those like early flops. So how did you convince your team it was like worth rebuilding?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, actually, uh, we are all open to test something new in this company. I think we have a really good mindset related to that. So before that, yeah, we were not focusing on webinars, to be honest, and they also aware of that. And once we had a projection with Jude, and they say, let's see. I mean, if you are going to think that this is going to be a marketing campaign, if you are going to spend so much time on it, and it was also on our goals for the H2 goals, I guess last year. I mean, we need to have at least X number of registrations for the webinars. So we had to do that, by the way. And we we thought that we can find a way that might be challenging for us, but we were aware that we didn't do our best in the previous times. I think that's the key. Once you are aware that you didn't put your all of your efforts, if you see some spaces there, you need to explore, and then I think you can jump in. So that was our case. So as the numbers were like maybe low in that case, okay, but we said we will be testing many new ideas for that, and we will be testing, let's say, some ads. We will be allocating some of our budget to that part, things like that. Once you have that strategy, once you have that mindset, and once you match it with our company mindset, they say, let's test it one more time.
Mhm.
So I think I can share it like that. I mean,
Yeah,
that
basically
was the
like
case, basically.
yeah, basically you knew what's not working. You just
Yeah,
had to find out how you can fix it. And you
yeah.
tested like several ways and you finally like find out what is
Hmm.
working the best for your
Yeah.
webinar strategy because
And
it's
also, Lucy, what I can share is I think channel creation and building takes time. So, for instance, right now, webinars is one of our channels right now. It's bringing also MRR, increasing product usage, and also lead some upgrades. So, you need to be patient related to that. And once you compare it with other channels, for instance, Google organic ads or other stuff, this also brings some different emotions once you have webinar, because during the webinar you have face-to-face conversation, and also with your audience, with your registrants. It helps you to build credibility, it helps you to build trust, you know. Once your subscribers see your face, someone from the team in the webinar, they can say that I like that team, yeah, I like that person, I like that
yeah.
stuff, and then they can say that. It helps you to build some strong connections, bonds. this is also good. I mean, it increases the loyalty. And for instance, for some of the webinar form replies, we have seen that I love Jude. Jude is really working well, and she is amazing. She is a really good star. Things like that, you know. So it also helps you to bring some new features and also increase loyalty, new emotions. And
Yeah,
I guess companies started to give an importance to that kind of things as well. So it's not like, just using the product, it's working well. That not kind of things. You need to have a really good relation with those champions on those subscribers, let's say. And webinars enables you to do that.
exactly. You're putting a face on your brand, so
Yep.
really helps. All right, we're just about out of time, Levent. Thank you so much for walking us through how you rebuilt the whole webinar engine at UserGuiding. Thank you so
Hmm.
much. And for everyone watching, if your webinars don't deliver, just remember you are just one mindset shift away from turning it around. Levent, do you have anything to add before we wrap up?
Nope. Again, thanks for having me, and thanks for having that solution. It also helps us to increase our mindset. And for those who would like to use user guiding, yeah, you can reach out to me through LinkedIn. I guess here is my LinkedIn. And apart from that, you guys can use our discount code if you would like to subscribe to our solution by the end of this month. But yes, feel free to reach out to me anytime you want in terms of webinars, product adoption, user guiding. We can try to handle your questions with our team easily. Yep.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Levent, and thanks everyone for joining. See you next time.
Cheers. Bye bye.